You thought this video was gonna be a cozy little pep talk. How cute! Straight out of your feel-good feed dreams. Sorry to burst your bubble, but there's no room here for your bloated ego or those emotional back rubs for dudes who slide into DMs with sob stories. This isn't about rehabbing your vanilla romance or handing out self-help chants on open communication for folks who think the world's problems boil down to missing heart emojis in texts. Today, we're diving into raw truth, silence. Yeah, that deafening nothing that, for the queen of her own drama, feels like the end of the world. If you're still buying into talking fixes everything, congrats. Your mom's comfort zone misses you. Close this tab and go whine to someone who pretends dialogue isn't just begging for attention with a side of shade. Silence, darling, is the real emotional earthquake. Only those who wield this weapon without flinching get what it means to be unforgettable while choosing to ghost. Her. She shoots off a snarky text, drops hints on social, plays it cool just to test if you're still wagging your tail. And what do? Sip! Nada. Not even a heavy sigh or a laugh emoji, just the black hole of your silence. Boom chaos unleashed. When you reply, she sizes up the damage and sticks to her script. But when you go radio silent, the control freak short circuits because what really wrecks her isn't a polite brush off, it's the total void, the nothing. The kind no feel-good therapy can patch up. That's the nightmare for anyone who thinks they're running the show. Realizing the opponent's vanished, leaving only their own doubt staring back. While everyone else scrambles to argue, explain, overanalyze, the guy who stays quiet turns absence into a masterpiece. Silence doesn't hand over a playbook, doesn't offer a graceful exit, doesn't even toss a crumb of explanation to fuel her inner rant. It just fades, ghosts with more style than any formal no thanks. And want to know why it stings so bad? Because silence strips you bare in front of your emotional mirror. And absolutely nobody likes facing their insecurities raw, no filter. So buckle up, queen of mind games. Today you're learning that silence scars deeper than a straight-up no. And the best part, how to turn your ghosting into premium psychological warfare. Because real power was never about having the last word. It's about leaving the other person talking to themselves. But first, let's fire up that last brain cell. This video didn't pop up by magic or some viral voodoo. It exists because someone probably sharper than you, but hey, no need to rub it in, had the smarts to like, comment, and subscribe. No miracles, just the algorithm at work. And the algo? Heartless beast, it only rewards the feeders. So if you're sitting there with that blank stare, leeching content like the universe owes you, congrats on your freeloading skills. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a thanks in the comments to keep up that enlightened vibe. Enough warm-up. Welcome to the emotional gut punch, and let silence do the heavy lifting. Number 1. What she's hiding about rejection. Get ready for the show of mature femininity, where everyone swears they crave the truth, but only if it comes with a ready-made pity party script. Yeah, they preach about loving honesty, no matter how much it hurts. Thump their chests, showing off supposed emotional smarts, and spam cheap poetry on Insta about the beauty of hearing no. Adorable, right? Almost makes you want to buy it if you've got fewer than 3 functioning brain cells. In real life, rejection's never welcome. Not gift-wrapped, not polite, definitely not brutal. The issue isn't the delivery, it's the ego that can't stand being sidelined. See, what she really wants is to direct the scene, play the lead who wraps it up with grace, drops a killer line, and pretends she chose to bow out. But when a guy goes silent, the whole act crumbles. No farewell, no crowd, no soap opera finale. Just the vacuum, the total blackout. And for someone who thrives on spotlight, that's pure hell. Here's the dirty secret. Spoken rejection, no matter how rough, still fuels her comeback monologue. Gives her stage to play victim, hero, or whatever role keeps the ego toasty. But silence. That's lights out. Curtain drops mid-scene. The star doesn't even know if the show's over or canceled for low turnout. And no rant post fixes that. Silent rejection is the only one without a user manual. No truce, no closure, no pretty scar to flaunt in a glow-up post. It stays raw, throbbing, poking at the wound of the one who thought they owned the story. And what does she do? Acts like everything's fine while mentally rehearsing a speech that'll never land. Because the guy who rejects out loud is easy to label and hate, the one who ghosts becomes a mystery. And you can't hate a riddle, you just fear it. And fear, my friend, is the only emotion that sends the ego scrambling under the bed. Welcome to the zone where silence isn't no answer. It's the verdict she never wanted. In the next section, you'll get why this void wrecks more than any dramatic no and shuts down the emotional theater for good. Number 2, the pain. Silence inflicts. Silence. That's the beast No Self-Love seminar teaches you to tame. Don't kid yourself. It's not just quiet. It's a controlled detonation that shatters that insta-perfect confidence and turns the control queen into a side character in her own mess. When you respond, even with a solid no, she gets her victim script, rallies the squad, and spins the tale of, look what he did to me. But silence? That's flushing the whole plot. Nothing left but her own emptiness. What's left is that gnawing doubt. Do I not even rate a reply? And bam, that's the question no motivational quote can touch. Silence is a blade without edges, no visible blood, but it shreds self-esteem into emotional confetti. Forces the nightmare every controller dreads, the chance they mean zilch. Not worth debating, not rant-worthy, not even enemy status. This no response isn't just annoying, it's gourmet torture. It erodes slow, seeds paranoia, insecurity, that express existential crisis. And the kicker, no denial allowed, no cheap rationalizing. Just stare in the mirror at the reflection of someone ghosted without a goodbye script. No closure, no empowering speech, just endless doubt dripping in her head. That's why silence hurts more than any fight. Arguing lets her rehearse wins, fanfic endings, shade posts. Silence turns the lead into a ghost, and nobody gets over a ghost. The emotional limbo has no expiration, no guidebook, just feeds the obsession for what's gone forever. Gear up, 'cause this cauldron of void brews the real control crave, and the next step's all downhill for whoever thought they were on top. Number 3, the need for control. The female ego, that turbocharged engine running on dominance vibes, needs to feel like it's steering even when crashing into emotional walls. The script's always the same. Poke, flirt, tease, vanish, then pop back to gauge her own impact. And if rejected, she wants any reaction, even an okay fuels the usual drama. 'Cause every word yanked out is ego territory claimed, turns scraps of attention into epic comebacks, or at least self-help fodder for the group chat. The disaster hits when the other side's a guy who won't buy tickets to the show, he just yanks the stage. Silence is panic for the star. No lines, no script, no triumph finale. Total wreck for someone hooked on scripting the end, that kid-like urge to close the curtain with a zinger and fake applause. When you shut up, you shut down the attention box office, deny the closure privilege, and that poor ego would take a screaming match over the icy abyss of indifference any day. That's why, facing silence, she thrashes like a fish on dry land, drops hints, fakes drama, plays aloof, all to check if the line's back online and she grabs the wheel again. The more you clam up, the more she spins out, 'cause you can't argue with nothing. Silence doesn't just derail the plan, it blows up the whole theater and forces the actress into the one role she can't nail, powerless in the deep freeze. In the next section, find out why responding is amateur hour and shutting up is masterclass. 'Cause in the end, the real boss is the one bold enough to bail without a heads up. Number 4, the difference between rejecting and shutting up. This is where boys apologize for breathing and real men grab the remote on their emotions. Rejecting with words is still kinda cute, almost a favor. Look, I'm out. Let's call it quits. This ain't working for me. She cries, throws a fit, claps back, stocks up therapy sessions with the girls, and preps the Insta-rant with sponsored shade. Deep down, you handed her gold. Soap opera fuel, comeback script, ammo for the next mind game. The dude who rejects verbally thinks he's tough, but he's really just gassing up her ego-giving stage, spotlight, and the mic drop. Now try shutting up! Yank the plot, kill the lights, leave the lead rehearsing for an empty house. No reply means no story, no characters. Drama turns solo with no fans. She doesn't even get to pick the ending, can't hate you for sure. 'Cause you weren't mean. You were gone. And there's no frustration like hate without a target. Can't hype herself up either, since there's no glow-up tale for backstage ghosts. Silence slams the door on manipulation, blocks debates, trashes the old fight-forgive-relapse loop. It's just nothing, and for script addicts, that's the ultimate punishment. That's why pros don't announce exits. They vanish from the plot. No fuss, no emotional maturity badge to wave. When she clocks, she's solo on stage, mumbling lines to drawn curtains. It hits. Real power belongs to the silent, not the finale dramatizers. In the next section, gear up to wield this silence like a sharp blade, not as escape, but as the art of owning your exit. Number 5. How to use silence smartly. The gap between playground ghosting and void mastery is intent. The kid dips to get noticed, thinking it'll make him mysterious when he's just group chat fodder. The guy, cool and calculated, turns silence into a chess move. Doesn't vanish for props, vanishes because he knows some words just pump up the other ego. It's not about dodging willy-nilly, it's spotting when talk's pointless, and silence lands like judgment. First rule of classy ghosting. Don't mix strategic dip with wimping out on real stuff. If it's heavy family, job, grown-up duties, clamming up screams weak. But if it's emotional games, empty demands, custom drama for social feeds, then yeah, slice with silence like a scalpel. Timing's what splits the respect earner from the block list regular. If she's prodding for explanations, apologies, reactions, zip it. If the chat's ego showdown, stop feeding the fire. If it's toxic loop city, end it with your absence. And never cave just 'cause she yanks your energy back to her arena-smart silence makes her question her own plot, not reek of teen grudge. Purposeful absence. Not a bratty tantrum, but a memo from someone who's learned valuable presence from disposable company. When you shut up without needing to prove squat, your stock skyrockets, 'cause nobody forgets the hole left by a guy who exits at peak enigma. Sure, she'll fight the void, and that's the gold. Post-silence reveals the desperation X-ray of someone who realized too late they lost the script. Hang tight for the next section. The control loss circus is just kicking off. Number 6. The aftershock of silence. Here's the magic where silence flips from minor annoyance to high-end fixation. Thought ghosting ends the game? Aw, sweet summer child. That's when the mental reality show ramps up. She twigs your dip wasn't slip-up, it was strategy. Flips to hunt mode. Hey stranger, masked as a meme. Random story bait, like on an old post just to ping she's around all to test if the ice thaws. Control, once cozy illusion, now raw craving on blast. Every blank from you mirrors insecurities she'd never story. Probes, pokes, provokes, drop self-help shade, and the more you ignore, the more she unravels quiet. 'Cause your ghosting became verdict, not debate. Cave in. Congrats, your work's now girlfriend group meme. But hold the line like a boss, and she faces the control freak's worst, losing even the shot to rig the game. Hints multiply, curiosity eats her, late-night self-doubt turns habit. Your absence? Now VIP ghost hidden ref, unowned trauma, taboo name in chats. You morph into the legend nobody mentions but everyone chases. But watch it. The line between myth and douche is razor thin. Plenty mix classy quiet with cheap snub and trip on their own hype. In the next section, nail the surgical split between top-shelf indifference and lame arrogance. 'Cause legends are rare arrogance. Lines out the door. Number 7. The difference between indifference and snubbing. Here's the chasm splitting the guy who's leveled up his worth from the clown still craving applause. Indifference is evolve stuff. Dipping not to prove points, but 'Cause life's too short for mind game marathons. No need for silent struts or insta-absence parades. The truly indifferent dude doesn't ghost to shine, he's just not there. And that's enough. Snubbing? That's a desperate yell for notice. Snarky replies, shade drops, fake nonchalance, but secretly timing for props. The guy flaunts silence like a booby prize, but he's peddling neediness on clearance. Women got radar for it. Sniff out emotional thirst before the text even opens. Knows the diff between gone, 'cause over it, and hurting her to feel big. Bet on it. The latter hits the trash list fast. Real indifference is stealth. Doesn't yell, pose, beg for kudos. That's why it's powerhouse and untouchable. Snubbing's loud and lame as hell. Nail this diff, and silence becomes your self-worth stamp, not a cry for help dressed as I'm good. But don't fool yourself. Holding this level costs. In the next section, uncover the bill elegant silence racks up, and why only those past their shadow fears pay without whining. Number 8. The cost of silence. Time for what masculinity coaches dodge like the plague, owning that silence bill's heavy. Ditch the fantasy peddled in Alpha Sigma Cold Guy ebooks. The real tab no influencers posting, utter isolation. No self-mastery without staring down the brutal unease of being forgotten, labeled heartless in her tale. Holding silence means facing the void head-on, your ego begging for a ping, daily temptation to explain, chase, flex, you're fine just to snag a, you win. Silence's price is crashing in doubt's dark, grinding through days convincing yourself you lost nothing, when really you ditched the consolation prize of second-rate affection herds. It's quitting the almost tough guy trophy to avoid blending with beggars for scraps, and that's why few hold it. First pang of missing, they text. First squirm, back to the disposable market. Legends bank the full dip, embrace absence as natural selection. Ghost not from cheap pride, but surgical standards. Shut up not to punish, but shield from emotional rot of spotlight givers and takers. Fine irony, that cost loneliness, doubt, blank space, sleepless nights, splits disposable from etched-in memory. In silence you pay steep, but snag the only prize worth it. Respect, clout, and that timeless scar no therapy erases. 'Cause the big twist? This time, you're not the one left hanging. Lethal closeout. At the emotional show's end, it's not the bye that bruises, nor the showy rejection that shatters. What really dismantles the control diva isn't hearing the end. It's the dead silence that slams doors, steals the stage, and lets the script rot backstage. Silence offers no rematch, no comeback speech, no fuel to spin flop into motivational post with moody filter. It just leaves the void, and only those who never begged for replies fill it, knowing they exist without them. Raw truth, no instagloss. Two types in this game. Some chase views till the last scene. Others vanish so smooth they scar where vanity once puffed. Silence needs no explanation, no defense. It just is. And only those who've kicked the emotional crumb habit taste being remembered not for words, but for what the other never dared hear. If this vid nailed your ego dead center, do the basics. Comment, silence is my knockout punch. 'Cause in emotional warfare, the quiet one doesn't just legend up, they haunt premium in the mind of whoever thought they owned the board. Too much presence just sets you up to fade.